Okay, I guess we're live. Gotta love YouTube didn't give me a moment to even uh, figure out what was going on. So, hello, it's Thursday. It's Tea Time with Tawdra, the YouTube edition, and I'm a I'm a sliver late because I had a doctor's appointment this afternoon that was made um, well before I started doing tea time. Um, and it's a little crazy. A week from today, I leave for New Orleans. So next week, if you join me, I will be on the road to New Orleans, I believe. I don't think I'll be in New Orleans yet. I might be, depending on how the drive goes. So yeah, well, and then the following week, I will most likely be off because we'll be in the middle of the conference. And then the next week, I'll be able to report to you all about how I let the good times roll in New Orleans. Of course, it's post Mardi Gras, so I'll be letting the good times roll in a peaceful, quiet Lenten way. So, all right. So today, first of all, I'm in a totally different shirt than I intended to wear because I don't hold anything back here. After my doctor's appointment, I grabbed lunch from one of my favorite restaurants, really healthy, good for you restaurant called Fresh Kitchen. And I was eating it in the car, and some of the dressing just went right down my shirt. So, full disclosure, that's what it is. Also, full disclosure, if you look real closely, I should have a filter on here where I kind of soften it, but you'll see a little bit of gray in my hair, which I don't know where that came from, but my hair appointment is not until Monday. So anyway, today I am drinking my, what is this kind of tea? It's a Florida tea. You have to take my word for it. And I'm drinking out of one of my favorite teacups. It's a really good tea. This teacup was given to me by my beloved Aunt Terry, which was given to her by her great aunt. Quite good. They're pretty. This is I'm going to turn it around this way too. Let's see this came from England. So did her aunt who gave it to her. This is one of my most treasured of my teacup collection. So I would love to see if you have any special teacups in your house. So my backlist, Baby's Got backlist this month is all about the series that was formerly known. You know how Prince was the artist formerly known as Prince? Well, this is the series formerly known as Perfect Dish. If you follow me on social media, or if you might have seen my newsletter this month, I explained that these books, I wrote one book. I was okay with the main characters, but I really love these side characters. And consequently, I wrote 2 books about the side characters and then one more book about the one side character's brother. And they used to be known as Best Served Cold, Just Desserts, I Choose You, and Just Roll With It. There's a strong food theme in these books, so accidentally in a way. But so now we've separated them out. Best Served Cold and Just Roll With It are both standalones. Yes, they are related, but we're just standing them alone for now because that's just what they're going to do. And then we made Just Us, the Just Us Duet, which is just you and me, as a duet, because one is Ava and Liam's love story, and the second is their wedding story, which was so much fun and written by popular demand. So today I'm going to read a little bit of the first book, Just You. So the background of the story is that Ava was the best friend of Julia from Best Served Cold. And in Best Served Cold, Julia is trying to get over a guy who dumped her spectacularly and was really kind of a jerk to Liam. When I started out writing Liam, I wanted him to be the baddie. I wanted him to be a villain. I wanted him to be just absolutely someone you hated. And then it turned out Liam had reasons for why he acted the way he did. And it didn't excuse it, but it explained it. And he became the we find out at the end of Best Served Cold that Liam and Ava have been tiptoeing around a flirtation, a romance. And it's really hard for Ava to reconcile that with her friendship with Julia. Julia is her best friend. So at the beginning of Just You, she basically tells Liam to get lost. She says, I'm not doing this. She does something that she basically breaks his heart the same way he broke Julia's. But she just feels so bad about it. Ava does. So Ava is she's a scholarship student at this college, at Birch College. She is an Italian. She's the second daughter in an large Italian family from the Jersey Shore. The Jersey Shore that I know, which is the southern Jersey Shore, not like, anything you see on TV. And her older sister, before the book even began, before the story even began, her older sister had a baby out of wedlock, which was a big thing in their family, and then she was killed in an accident. So they are taking care of Ava's parents are taking care of Frankie, her niece, Ava's niece. Liam, on the other hand, is the only son of a very well-known, very prominent family. His father is a senator. His parents, have a lot of money, and he is very unhappy. He does not have the family that he wishes he had. So, at this point, Ava has agreed to be Liam's friend. She says they're friends only. That's it. There's nothing else going on between them, but she will be his friend. And he hears that she's going home because her brother's getting married and she has to go home to be fitted for a bridesmaid's gown. So this is the first time that Ava is bringing Liam home to specifically to the restaurant that her parents own. So Saturday night at Cucina Felice meant a parking lot overflowing with cars and lines out the door. I felt a sense of satisfaction and pride as we pulled in. Drive around back. There's a family section fenced off for us to park. When Liam pulled up to the gate, I jumped out to type in the code that hadn't changed since I was a child. We locked the car, and I made my way back out, slipping between the edge of the fence and the hedge. Liam held my hand, his fingers rubbing nervously against the back of my knuckles, in such a way that I knew he was nervous. What does the name mean? Cucina Felice. It's kitchen something, right? I nodded. Happy kitchen. My grandmother always says a happy kitchen is the heart of the family, and she had so much family she had to open a restaurant to have a big enough heart. I could have taken him in the back door, but I had enough pride in what my family had accomplished to want to show off a little. We crossed the green lawn and climbed the steps to the porch. A few people called my name in greeting, and I waved. Friends of yours? Liam leaned to whisper in my ear. I smiled. Small town. Everyone knows everyone. Angela, who was shortly to be my new sister-in-law, was working the hostess stand. She was talking to a tiny white-haired lady as we came up. Yes, Mrs. Collini, the cake is all set. We'll bring it out right after the coffee is served. All right, but not before. I wanted to surprise Mr. Collini, but I don't want the cake sitting on the table while we wait for coffee. Angela smiled. No, ma'am, I've reminded your server. You can just relax and enjoy your special evening. Mollified, the lady tottered back to her table, and Angela turned to us, still wearing her professional smile, which widened to a grin. Ava, oh, thank God you're here. I was so worried about your dress, and all the other girls have theirs done and already back at home with them, and I was thinking. She glanced behind me and got an eyeful of Liam. Her mouth fell open. And this is my friend Liam. Liam, this is Angela. The rest of my words were lost in her shriek. Oh my God, Ava, you brought home a boy! Every head in the restaurant turned toward us. There were mostly smiles, along with a few smirks and snickers from people who had known me most of my life. Liam handled the whole thing like a pro. He returned Angela's hug and nodded to whatever question she was shooting at him. I tried to pull him away, but she wouldn't let go. Across the restaurant, standing right outside the kitchen, I spotted my mother. She was standing against the wall, watching the whole debacle with a smile on her face. I recognized that smile. It was the same expression she wore when she'd been proved right in some argument with me, and it all clicked. Angela, we'll talk to you later. We need to go say hello to Ma and the boys. Is Daddy here too? Yeah, he's in the kitchen tonight. Everyone's in the kitchen. We're slammed. I patted her arm and dragged Liam into the dining room, trying to ignore the knowing smiles from patrons. I'm sorry about that. I almost had to shout to be heard. Why? She's great, Liam spoke in my ear. I shook my head as we reached Ma. She hadn't moved. Okay, Ma, well played. My mother raised her eyebrows and cocked her head. What on earth do you mean, Ava? Angela, I know you heard her because I'm pretty sure everyone in the tri-state area heard her. You didn't tell her not to make a fuss. She smiled again. You didn't mention Angela. You said I shouldn't make a fuss and I shouldn't tell the boys. And I should tell the boys, too. You never mentioned Angela. And this is why my mother would always be my hero. Ma, this is my friend Liam. Liam, this is my mother, Francesca DiMartino. Liam offered his hand. Mrs. DiMartino, thank you for your hospitality. You have a lovely home and your restaurant. Before he could finish, Ma disregarded his hand and pulled him into a hug. Liam, welcome. So glad you're here. Come, we've got a little table for you and Ava Katerine. We'll bring food. She hauled him over to a corner table for two while I trailed in their wake. Liam sat down as my mother shook out the linen napkin, laid it on his lap. I dropped into the other chair and got my own napkin. Now tonight, our special is chipino. You like seafood, don't you? Liam nodded. Excellent. We'll start with the salad and then gnocchi with marinara because nobody leaves cucina felice without sampling my husband's marinara. I'll send one of the girls over with some bread and olive oil. Hey, Ma, remember me, your daughter? My mother spared me a look. Ava, behave. You have a guest. We want to make him feel welcome. Fine. Oh, and I'm glad you're not fussing, by the way. Is Frankie here? Mom nodded. Of course. She's back in the kitchen coloring. I'll send her out. When my mother finally left us alone, I leaned forward to apologize again to Liam. A tall shadow fell across the table. Ava, thank God you came home. Angela and Ma were making me crazy over that dress. Carl set a basket of bread on the table. He spoke to me, but I noticed his eyes kept darting to Liam. I'm sorry it took me so long. School's been really busy. Carl, this is my friend Liam. Liam, my brother Carl. Carl held it together admirably, shaking Liam's hand as though I brought a guy home every weekend. I was pretty sure I was the only one who noticed my brother's lips twitching as he surreptitiously checked them out. Okay, I got to get back in the kitchen before Ma pitches a tizzy. Enjoy. He gave us a nod before he turned. I like him. Liam smiled as he broke off a piece of bread and dipped it into the olive oil. Yeah, he's terrific. I'm sorry about how crazy. Auntie Ava! I was hit on the side by a miniature tornado of energy. Laughing, I reached down to scoop her up. Francesca, you've grown a foot. Are you driving yet? She giggled, scrambling into my lap. No, I can't drive. I'm only little, but Nana let me roll the gnocchi tonight and said I did it even better than you. I grimaced. Sorry to burst your bubble, kid, but that doesn't take much. She laughed again, snuggling against my chest in a way that always gave me a pang. She was a child who was so loved, so treasured, and yet she didn't remember her own mother. I rubbed my cheek against her silky black hair. When I glanced up, Liam was watching me, an odd look on his face. Frankie, I want you to meet my friend Liam. He came from college with me. Liam, this little terror is Frankie. He leaned over and grinned into her face. Nice to meet you, Miss Frankie. She blushed and rolled her eyes up to me. I sighed. Liam's effect on females obviously knew no age boundaries. Frankie, you need to go back to the kitchen, Nana says. My brother Vince was carrying a tray of salads. He set two on our table, and I performed the introductions yet again. Vince didn't say much. He nodded, shook hands, and walked away. Is that everyone? Liam asked as he stabbed the lettuce from the salad. Just Daddy, but you don't have to worry about him. He's very chill. The food kept coming, and by the time the chipino was set in front of us, Liam shook his head. I don't know if I can eat another bite, he yelled to be heard as the noise level had continued to amp up. What, no dessert? I teased. You're going to break my mother's heart. Liam shook his head, his eyes never leaving mine. The only dessert I could manage isn't on the menu, and I'm pretty sure it's not something I can enjoy in front of your family. My face grew warm. You're right about that. I picked up our plates. We'll take it home and have it later. Wait here, and I'll get this wrapped. Then we can go back to the house. They probably need this table anyway. I carried the plates into the kitchen as quietly as I could, hoping to get past my mother without being seen. No such luck. Ava, did he not like his food? She crossed her arms over her chest as she stared me down. And Vince made a rum cake. I was just about to cut you some and bring it out. No, Ma, it was wonderful, but you sent out so much. We were full before the main course came. I'm going to wrap it up and we'll take it home. Can you box up the cake too? Are you leaving? The rise in her voice told me this might be a problem. Yeah, Ma, it's crowded here and I'm tired. I just want to be in the quiet. So you're taking that boy back to the house while no one is there? I bit back a smile. He'd gone from being the boy Ava brought home to that boy. Feelings ran like quicksilver in my family. I'm going to the house. Liam is coming with me. If it'll make you feel better, we can take Frankie home too. I'll put her to bed just to help you out. My mother pursed her lips and probably would have said a lot more if the Gemma voice hadn't cut across those lips. Francesca, leave the girl alone. She's a smart one. She's got a good head. Daddy! I hugged my father, inhaling his unique aroma of tomatoes, light cologne, and the faintest tinge of the pipe my mother pretended he never smoked. I was just out in the dining room and met your friend. Seems like a nice boy. I know of his father. I wasn't sure what to say. Okay, I'm sorry we didn't see you before. It's been bedlam out there. My father smiled and held his hands out in a what can you do gesture. Saturday night. So you go on home, get some rest. We'll all talk tomorrow morning at breakfast. Anthony, but she's going to be home alone in the house with a boy. Franny, my daddy turned and laid his hands on my mother's shoulders. She's a grown up. She lives away from home. What she's going to do, she's going to do. He turned back to me. But it would help us and set your mother's mind at ease if you took Frankie. Thanks for offering. I stood on tiptoe to kiss my father's cheek. Thank you, Daddy. Night, Mom. See you tomorrow morning. There is a little taste of Ava and Liam and Just You. So if these books are available wide at all retailers. They have brand new, adorable covers, and you can see them everywhere. Yeah, so super exciting. Quick note, if you live in New Orleans and can have suggestions for what I should do on there, I'm an old-time New Orleans person. I've been there a million times. I love it, but I'm always looking for new tips into where to eat and where to go. And if you are in the area and want to meet up, you can ping me in the group, ping me on Facebook, and I'll let you know if we have time to put together a meetup while I'm there. So anyway, for the time being, I lift up my teacup to you, and I thank you for joining me for Tea Time with Tawdra, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.